Well, I'm joined right now by the newest head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Brad Larsen. Brad, first of all, congratulations. It's great to sit and talk with you like this. We've had conversations before, obviously, over the years, but now you're in a different role, moving from an assistant coach to a head coach. First of all, when it all came down and you got the offer, what was that moment like for you?
It's surreal. I mean, it's, especially your first time being, told it's a yes, you're a head coach in the NHL, and it didn't really sink in. It was really crazy with, the amount of people that reached out was overwhelming and humbling. I've said it and I'll say it again. Just the well wishes and from calls, emails, and text messages. I said this in my first press conference. Ty had the text count going, and I just had to put it away. When I saw it on my phone where it's from Yarmouth says, "Are you available now?" And you kind of know that it's coming down, so your heart flutters a little bit. It's going to be a yes or no at this point. So when it was a yes, it was waking up this morning and go, "You're now a National Hockey League head coach," was a pretty cool moment, and telling my family and my dad, who he's a pretty proud man, and he was pretty choked up, which is pretty neat, and my mom. So pretty special day.
Now, when you played on different teams and different organizations, but when it comes to coaching, you came into this organization, started in Springfield as an assistant coach, went to a head coach there, came here as an assistant coach, and now you're in this role. What does it mean to you that you've been able to spend so much time as a Columbus Blue Jacket?
Well, it means everything, and the love that I have for the Blue Jackets organization, the city, the people. I've got tremendous friends that I built here over the last 7 years, and even being in Springfield, you felt part of it. You were an affiliate team. You're help. Talk about the players I got to coach that were here, from the Savards to Atkinsons, Boone Jenner, Ryan Johanssons, all these, and there's lots that have Nick Holden, Cody Golobuff. There's all these players that were here. Matt Calvert, Dalton Prout. I could go on and on. So the reward was to watch them go up, right, and have success, because, again, I've played and I know what it's like to get that call and the excitement. So to be able to go through the different levels and the stages of the organization where it's been, and, we built and had that, beating Tampa and do that. And I've said this, and I'll probably beat this term to death, but there's no substitute for experience. You just go through things, and it grows you as a coach, and you can't fast track experience. You just can't. There's just no rush to wisdom, and I think the more you take a step back and you start to, as you get older, you listen better. I've really tried to do that, is just listen to really smart people, and then try to apply it my own way and be myself in the process of that. But it's been quite a journey over 11 years, and continue on, and again, it's like it re-energizes you. I'm so excited to get started and get rolling and be in the process, and seeing what our team's going to look like by training camp time here in September, and we'll see where that goes.
If I take you back to Springfield when you were an assistant, Rob Riley was the head coach there. Rob was an older guy. He'd kind of been through a lot of things. You come in as a young assistant coach, and then a couple of years later, you take over that head coaching position. Thinking back on that experience, what things did you have to change when you went from an assistant to a head coach? And will any of those things be similar in making the adjustment in the NHL from assistant to head coach?
Different scenarios. I think just starting my career and then getting offered a lot of responsibility was incredible. And I said this all the time, it fast-tracked my development, I think, as a coach. Rob was an unbelievable man, and still is an unbelievable man to work for. And he, like I said, there was no ego. He had never coached in the American League before. He had put, I don't know how many years in Army there, and was a scout, and he hadn't coached in the year, so it was a new experience for him too. So we were kind of learning off each other, but he wanted to sit back and watch and kind of be more of a manager's eyes, and I was hands-on on everything. So it was just me. So running video and doing 5-on-5 pre-scouts, power play, penalty kill, it was nuts. I don't even know how I had the time to do it, but it was awesome to learn.
It wasn't digital back then either, was it?
No, it was, yeah.
So videotapes and all that stuff.
No. It was a lot. And then, then when the transition happened, I got put into head coach position. I got to build a staff, and that's when I hired Jared Bednar, who's now the head coach with Colorado Avalanche. And obviously you've seen what he's done, and tremendous coach, smart. And, you know, I've always been a proponent of surrounding yourself with the best people possible, and he was the guy when we interviewed, and by the second, third interview, I'm like, that is the guy. And he was up for head coach jobs in the American League, but I was really hoping he didn't get him so that I could have him, or work with him, I should say. And so in having him and Nolan Pratt, who was with him in Colorado, we had a tremendous staff, and you build trust, and I don't want to micromanage, but I value their opinion so much. So I want to take that and bring that model here, and it's different. The dynamics are different in the NHL, but we're playing hockey. I still want to value my coaches. I want to grow with them, and I want to listen. And I think that's something you should do as a leader. And again, I'll make final decisions. That's my role. It's different in a lot of circumstances. You're having the tough conversations. You're breaking hearts, and that's not the fun part of your job. But it's required, and you have to do it. And that's why I believe in truth and honesty, and making sure that, you know, they may not see it eye to eye, but at least they know where they stand. And I've been a firm believer in just making sure that those lines of communication are open and you're honest, and then we get an opportunity to move forward. But I'm excited to hire staff and get rolling and share ideas and get with that process.
Do you have any idea how quickly you're going to be able to do that, or how quickly would you like to do it so you can have your team to start working with the players, that team?
Yep, sooner than later, for sure. You know, I've already made a list, and again, I'm listening to Yarmo and JD on guys that they might recommend, and I told them, give me all the names you want. I'll reach out. Ultimately, I'm going to pick my staff. I think that's important because I'm the one working with them every day. But I welcome experience. I welcome youth. I welcome something in between. You know, it's got to be the right fit, the right person, the right energy for a group. We don't all have to be the same. I don't want to be the same. I think I bring my own energy. I think I got a lot of it. So I want, you know, different energy around me too. But with experience, I'm definitely leaning that way as long as it's the right energy.
I know you're a big workout guy, and Yarmo talked about in the press conference the fact that he didn't feel that this year's team was quite as ready as other years. That's obvious because there wasn't a real training camp like there normally is. The training camps you went through with John Tortorella were intense training camps, a lot of skating early on, of course, building that, well, first of all, the mental challenges of it, and then later, players would always say, hey, it came to March and other teams are getting tired. We were ready to go because of the work we put in September. When you're putting together that kind of a regimen, how much are you looking forward to having that good plan and getting back to that type of mindset in camp?
Well, you want that time as a coach to build, right? And you know, you need a foundation, and the work is getting put in the summer. If you come to camp and we're doing the skating to get in shape, we're way behind already. So the work has to be put in. Like Tord said, there's a whole mental aspect to it. They think there's no rhyme or reason to why he did what he did as far as the skating and how hard it was and grueling. But to push through that with a group and kind of come out on the other side, still standing, there's something to that. It's a camaraderie you build. So my camp's going to look different that way for sure. I have thoughts and ideas on that, but it's not going to lack conditioning and how hard it is. I think if you talk to players that have had me, they understand there's a demand in practice, there's a demand in conditioning, there's a demand in effort. You know, I'm not here to coach effort. I don't think we should be coaching that because I want to coach the details and making sure that we're on point in our structure and other things, and building relationships. But if we're coaching effort, you know, now we've lost our standard, and I don't think we could ever lose that. We can't lose who we are as from a foundation standpoint. So camp will be hard. I can tell you right now, there'll be lots of similarities in certain aspects, but it's going to be different, but it's going to be intense and hard.
When you talk about the standard, when you first came here, the culture changed, and it changed when John Tortorella came in and kind of raised that standard that had already been set. And I know that you and he saw eye to eye with that, and you're going to keep a lot of those fundamentals and ideals in place here. You mentioned in your press conference that then there got to a point where John Tortorella would handle something one way, maybe you would handle it a different way. And I was looking at your family because you have younger kids. So in this day and age, I think you can relate a little bit more with today's athlete. And, you know, it's a different culture, right? I mean, it is, it's not always that kick in the pants. Maybe when you were coming up and playing, it was always the kick in the pants. It's more so of the maybe the pat on the back sometimes. In addition, you also talked about the fact that relationships with players is very important to you. Can you just talk about that, how you go about creating those relationships with players and that understanding of, what today's athlete is, what today's youth is like, and how to deal with that?
Well, like anything worthwhile in life, it takes time. You don't build a relationship in 2 weeks or even 2 months. There is a process to it. There is this, you got to show them that you care. I've heard this great line, before they know, or before they know or they care what you know, they got to know that you care. And I fully embrace that. And I believe that. As a coach, my favorite coaches were the ones that cared. And so that's something that's real important to me as far as building the relationships, and it's a daily thing. It's not a once a month or 2 months checking in, and again, it's collaborative. This is not just me, this is our staff, and this is why it's important to hire the right people. I want to make sure, and again, it's different people. Again, I have my own energy, that whoever I hire is going to have his energy, and they're going to have their energy, but it's so neat to watch different energies work at once and get to know the player, and not just surface level stuff of just the hockey, the mundane hockey stuff. And you go through a lot, and I've mentioned this before. It is a grind. It's 82 games and the demands of this league, and we're blessed people. Trust me, I'm not complaining about that. But you are sacrificing in other areas, whether that's time away from your wife and kids, whether the travel schedule, the playing through injury, and what these guys, they put the uniform on, they're playing, and then they're getting criticized when it's not going well, but nobody knows they've got a torn labrum in their shoulder and they've been playing it for 2 months, and they find out after the fact. So there's all these things and dynamics that go into it that's important, and I think that's valuing what we're doing. It's understanding and building relationships, and you couple that with a really strong mental attitude, a preparation, valuing practice habits, and I think then you start to build something special.
You know this fan base really well because you've been here for so long. You've watched them in the low times, in the high times, all of that. The roster you have today is not going to be the same roster you have when training camp opens in September. But when it comes to, especially like addressing the fans, what could you say, when they watch the Columbus Blue Jackets play with Brad Larsen standing behind that bench as the head coach, what are they going to see from your team?
Well, if we've done this right, we continue on with the standard and the foundation, and then it's passion. It's a team that's willing to go to the wall for each other. It's an organized team that knows their job, that knows what's going to be asked of them. Consistency in effort every single night, and doing it the proper way. I think and those are the simple terms of it, and without getting, but I love coaching. I love the opportunity to get together as a group and try and we have a common goal, and to grow with young men and try and achieve that goal. There's going to be a process to it, as we all know. There's going to be a learning curve in there. I mean, I'm making the transition assistant to head, so how I've been, it's going to be different. Me as a person doesn't change. I got to be very careful of that. I don't want to change who I am and what I stand for. But again, the hard decisions have to be made. Certain decisions will have to be made on lineup and other factors that go in. So there's going to be a feeling up period for some of these guys that have been here too. And I think they're going to get to know me real quick. I'm firm and fair. I will be demanding. I think it's the only way to be. Players want to be coached. I believe that wholeheartedly. When they know you care, when they know it's not about me, it's because it's never going to be about me. It's about the organization, the team, and trying to uphold that standard and winning hockey games, and it starts right from training camp.
Well, you are now the lightning rod.
Yeah.
And you have earned that. And I mean that in a big way. I mean, congratulations to you. I mean, this is it's a lot of work over a lot of years. It's culminating right now for you. I couldn't be happier for you. Glad that not only are you staying here, but you're getting this role, and you're going to run this team. Have you had a chance to even celebrate with your family yet?
Not really. No, it happened so fast, kind of yesterday, and we had stuff going on. To be able to take a breath. I think Monday we're going to designate as family day and just kind of take a breath. And there's a lot of responsibilities that come with this job, and we understand that. But I've said this before, you know, you don't take the job to divorce your family. You know, it's my family is, you know, my faith family, and then the job. If I do those things correctly, I'll be the best coach I can be. And so we're looking forward to a day where to just kind of enjoy each other.
Well, good luck with that, because I know with a young family, it never stops.
No, I know.
So
I know.
enjoy it as best you can. But Brad, again, thank you very much for doing this. Look forward to doing this a lot with you.
You bet.
And congratulations.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, that is Brad Larsen. He is the new head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets.